Barb Sturgeon. I'm married and been married for 40 years. I have 4 adult children and 4 grandchildren. They all live in the Nashville area. I went to college at University of Dayton and I got my degree in chemical engineering. My background is in engineering. I can learn very quickly, and I worked several places. My job was to be the project engineer, so I had to watch the budgets and the schedule and help the different disciplines communicate. When I had my second child, I decided to stay home and raise my kids at home. I thought that was a great decision. They're all doing very well. But then once they were older, I felt like I had a lot more to give, a little bit more gas in the tank. So I figured community service was what I was ready to do. And if everybody did community service, it would be a different world. We all just need to do a little bit, and it would make a big difference. I moved here in 2010. I have to admit, when I moved here, I really knew nothing about local politics. I joined a group of ladies in my neighborhood who were studying the Constitution. We were relearning it, actually reading it and breaking it down. When you do that, it just makes it so clear how far our political system has gotten from our Constitution. I felt just very disappointed in that. I realized that local politics affects your life more than the federal. So I determined to learn about, who's my state representative, who's my county commissioner, how does the system work, when are the elections. It was really a wake-up experience. My mission is to connect with the public because I believe in citizen-led government. And you can't have citizen-led government if people don't know how it works, don't know how to get engaged or get involved. There's no one closer to you as a representative than your school board member and your county commissioner. We approve all the spending and raise the money. We determine the property tax rate. And we also approve all the departmental spending. We're in charge of funding the schools, which is 75% of the budget, but we don't have anything to actually say about what their budget is. We just approve the bottom line. So your school board member is very, very important. The other part is we're there if you need help. I've had people call me because they've got flood problems or they've pulled out of their driveway and they can't see because their neighbor's bushes are too big or whatever. We can't solve all their problems, but we can help facilitate, point them in the right direction, make connections for them, or just give them who they need to talk to. I believe in citizen-led government, so I like to keep people informed. That's why when I first got elected, I started a newsletter. I wanted to stay connected and I wanted to keep people informed. I would say I'm a fiscal conservative, and it's not that I don't want to spend money. We obviously have to spend money to provide the services that people need, but I think the government needs to stay in their lane as much as possible, and that many solutions are better off not being done by the government. School enrollment has been flat or possibly declining over the last several years, but they still have 8 new schools on the plan. Unless somebody can explain to me why we need those 8 schools, then they should be taken off the plan. Considering that we're over $1 billion in debt, that's our main job, is to control spending and to fund what's important. Why are we putting down 8 new schools that could be anywhere $40 to $160 million when we really should be making sure that the older schools are getting the capital they need? I'd like to see more like-minded commissioners on the county commission. I'm a conservative Republican. Everybody on the commission, I think, claims that they're Republican, but I don't actually see that in how they conduct business all the time. Not a black or white thing, obviously, but on the spectrum, I'm probably, on this end of the spectrum, if liberal is on that end of the spectrum. So it's hard to get things accomplished when you're in the minority in a body of 24. If we could get more people on the commission that had a background in finance, I think that would be really good for the county. I just think that is important, that the person who picks the team is on the team. I don't think you want the other team picking your candidates. And what happens, unfortunately, is there's a lot of people that identify as Democrats who decide that to have any influence, they want to vote in the Republican primary. What happens is they go in to pick the least conservative candidate because that's their values. It makes a difference. If you have 10 or 15% of the population voting in the primary that aren't Republicans, that can sway the vote so that you end up with a candidate that more reflects the values of the Democrat Party running as a Republican. It's important that local Republicans vote in all the primaries. The primary is the election. By the time you get to the general, it's done. So you want to have a choice, you want to choose who the Republican candidate is for the general. So if you can't only vote in one election, vote in the primary. When you go door to door, you find out people don't even know what a county commissioner is. So if you don't know who somebody is and that they're representing you, how are you supposed to influence how they represent you? You should get to know who your elected officials are, when the elections are. But then you also should know, how much debt are we in? When is the appraisal? Is there a tax hike coming? Because unfortunately, by the time you get the bill, it's done. So it'd be better if you knew beforehand. The state representatives, they have a lot to do. They've got a full plate. They're very quick to point out that the state is in the black and they're responsible for it being in the black. But I have to say, a lot of our debt, it really is caused by the state because the Williamson County is underfunded. It costs about $12,000 operating costs to educate a student, and last year got $4,400 of that from the state. So the county taxpayers have to make up the difference. I think the state needs to do a better job of funding education. Well, if you're listening to this, it means that you've hooked into the Williamson County citizens. So I applaud that effort because it's really important. People are busy. I'm busy. It's easy to get distracted by your life. But in the long term, you really need to be involved in local politics. There's just no substitute for it. I'm really happy that there's new people in Williamson County. A lot of people have moved here, and there's a portion of those people that want to get involved just like I did, and that's exciting to me. Yeah, one of the best ways to stay informed and to get to know who your representatives actually are, like not on paper, two-dimensional, is to go to a county commission meeting or a school board meeting and see what they have to say and see how they vote, or see if they never say anything. That would tell you a lot. The other thing is I would encourage you to call them and have coffee with them. I think most of them would all jump at the chance to have coffee with their residents. I know I do. I host like a monthly coffee at the Good Cup. And so people in my district, and even if they're out of my district, I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk county politics. Do those things and don't just stop there. Call your state representative and have coffee with them. That's the best thing you can do. If you just show up, do public comment, and it's all, I want what I want, and I'm here to say it and do what I want. That's not going to be as effective way of influencing your representatives is developing a relationship with them. And they've put a lot of time into their job. And it's worth developing a relationship. And that's what's great about local politics is you can know your representatives person to person. And that's the fun part.